Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Ding, 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 ding. It's coming home. Look, I'm not going to push the England thing down your throat because this is not an England show. This is a Manchester United show and we've got loads to talk about. We're going to be talking about United preparing a bid for Kamavinga as the transfer race for Kamavinga enters a critical stage with now 4 clubs in that race. We're also going to be talking about a very interesting development around Pau Torres, advanced talks for Varane, Pogba assessing all his options, Erling Haaland, Lingard resisting a move away from Manchester United according to ESPN. Some pretty big news around the female team and also a few other things as well. Bissouma as well. So Bissouma's story is quite interesting actually. So lots to get into this morning. On England, obviously, look, England-Denmark, massive to play Italy in the final, and I'm not going to try and convince you one way or the other. If you're Team England with me, that's great. If you're Team you want England out, that's fine. I'll be live tonight on That's Football for a watch-along. You can either enjoy England winning or you can enjoy Denmark winning. One way it will be entertaining. You can join me on That's Football for that. But let's get into the start of this show with Manchester United and the latest news. Lots to get into. Very excited to talk about the Bissouma stuff, actually. I'd forgotten about that. But let's start off. Manchester Evening News is saying that Manchester United wanted to sign Bellingham a year ago, and now they're looking at Camavinga, obviously looking for that younger profile midfielder that can go on and be a superstar. We should have got Bellingham. Will we get Camavinga? Will we miss out on 2? It'd be interesting how that ends up, really, because it's sort of setting us up for a potential fall or a potential success. Not getting Bellingham, not getting Camavinga. You know, apparently there's a change of regime at Manchester United, or is it going to be the same consistent failure? Let's see. L'Equipe are saying that this is a separate deal to Paul Pogba, which we've heard before, but they're also saying that €40 million bid is being prepared by Manchester United, that Chelsea and Madrid are interested, but they're not as interested as Manchester United and PSG. So 4 clubs involved in this race for Camavinga. €40 million seems to be the price that will get the deal done, which I still think is ridiculously cheap. I'm sure United will try and get it done a little bit cheaper than that. But ultimately, I think that there is going to be a bit of a race for Camavinga, and therefore I expect this deal to get resolved quite quickly. He's back in training with Rennes, and would you take Pjanic from Barcelona for free? No, Michael. He is definitely going to leave Rennes, and he's back in training with Rennes, and I think he would like to get that deal done quite quickly. And I think it's in Manchester United's interest that they get this deal done quickly as well, because if there is a transfer race, I don't think I've seen Manchester United win a transfer race against other big clubs in a long, long time. I can't really think of one where we were legitimately against other clubs to try and sign a player. I'm sure you in the chat will. But yeah, hopefully we are going to register that bid soon, because if it is separate to Paul Pogba and he's not a centre-back, which we're looking at, then what are we waiting for on Camavinga? Unless he is waiting for Real Madrid or he is waiting for PSG, in which case, why are we even in that race? Surely there's been some encouragement that he would like to come to Manchester United. I believe Camavinga is another stellar agency player, much the same as Varane, Luke Shaw and a few others are as well. Massive agency, so maybe there might be something in that. United certainly do like to have summers where they do businesses with the same sort of agent. If you remember Mino Raiola and Pogba, Zlatan and Mkhitaryan, that was all the same agent that summer. So maybe United looking at some stellar, and I don't mean the beer, and I'll be on that tonight hopefully if we beat Denmark. Definitely not Carlsberg. I've got to put my hands up and say I was wrong about Harry Maguire. He's solid, says Tabo. I'll talk about this Harry Maguire bollocks in a minute, actually. I've just said something on Twitter about it. I'm getting bored of this ridiculous, childish, knobhead type personality that we see on football Twitter. Like, it's just idiotic. You know, grow up and actually think things through. I'll tell you what that's about in a minute, but more positive stuff to talk than that. So first of all, so Camavinga bid race and everything. If we win the race for Camavinga, do you think there is a serious change in the club? Says Chubba. No, I don't, Chubba. You've sort of led me into something here. Before we talk about Bissouma and Varane and Lingard and a few other really good bits of news, and Pau Torres, this is great as well. Let me just say, I read something this morning that the Manchester United female team is going to go to the PFA to discuss their options in relation to misgivings and problems in the way that Manchester United are running the football club. And, you know, we're buying Camavinga, we're buying Sancho. I mean, come on, we're deeper than this as United fans. The stadium's still leaking. You know, the infrastructure is still bad. Oh, but they've bought they're going to buy they've bought Sancho and they're going to buy Camavinga. Oh, they've brought a new shirt out. Let's buy that. Let's be honest here. The way this football club's been run over the last 16 years is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. We've not even had 6 weeks of the club being run well, and apparently we want to put statues up outside for Murta and the Glazers. Come on. The women's team are going to go to the PFA about how badly the club's been run. We had no bloody swimming pool at Carrington at the end of the season because they wouldn't get it fixed. The stadium is leaking. They've been taking dividends out for years. The debt is still there, but it's fine. We're buying Varane, Camavinga and Sancho. I mean, come on. Grab a bit of depth. This club is not a well-run club. And look, maybe it's going to be a well-run club now. Maybe it is. But maybe it's not. Maybe this is about pulling the wool over your eyes, papering the cracks for one summer, and then getting things back to how it's been for the last 16 years. Because as I've said before, this club shit itself 2 months ago. When fans were stopping games, when they were putting the barriers up, when sponsors were getting all the shit online, they were crapping themselves as a football club. And I think they probably sat down and went, how do we turn this round? Well, here's a transfer window. Spin those plates. Get them spinning. Because if we buy a couple of players that the fans really want, they'll shut up for another 10 years. But you know what? I don't think it makes us a good club if we buy Camavinga, Sancho and Varane. Because what are we going to do next summer? Who's going this summer? Are we removing the deadwood? Are we keeping Pogba? What are we going to loan De Gea out for £250,000 a month, a week, £1 million a month? Are we going to do anything with the women's team? Are we going to do anything with the structure of the club? Are we going to buy players like this next season? Or is this just one big papering of the cracks that you think, well, actually, it's worth the 100 million to shut up the fans because we'll make that back way more over the next 5 years? So I don't think that we're a well-run club just because we buy Camavinga, Sancho and Varane. And I think any fan with anything about them needs to remember that. Are you going to be bought so easily? Are you going to take their bag of silver so easily and get back, like, oh, I'm going to buy all the shirts and this, that and the other? I would be very careful about your decision making, because Rome wasn't built in a day, and one sunny day doesn't make a summer. I want to see Manchester United making consistently good decisions day after day, month after month, year after year. And then and only then will I say that this club has become a proper club again. Because one transfer window where they do what they should be doing. I said this yesterday as well. If United buy Kamavinga, I got criticised. Somebody bloody tweeted me about this yesterday. Goldbridge moaning that if we get Kamavinga, Sancho and Varane and keep Pogba, it's not a great summer. I actually said it would be a good summer. But what they're saying is, I'm being a bit miserable about it. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. I don't think that is a great summer. I think that's what Chelsea and Man City do every year. Why am I going to start cheering a summer on that I think we should be doing every year? I mean, is it not reasonable that one of the biggest clubs in the world goes into a summer needing a CDM, a centre-back and a right winger and buys them? Do I need to get the confetti out and start cheering in the streets naked? I mean, big club does what big club should do but hasn't been doing for 16 years. I want to see it again and again and again and again. And I don't want to have to celebrate it. I want to expect it, because that's what big clubs do and that's what rich clubs should do. This is maybe United's strategy. Buy a player who have 1 year left. It's cheaper and easier to buy. Well, it could be a good strategy, Nicholas, as well. Mark, please check your messages and put up the petition. Needs a platform like this to make the petition stand out and get into the Parliament. I'm not doing it, Mark Lunn. I'm not going to start pushing a petition for a bank holiday on Monday. That's not going to happen. I will retweet it for you, but I am not going to start pushing this bank holiday thing. Do you want to know why? Because I'm with it. The government cannot give a bank holiday on Monday with a few hours' notice. They don't know whether we've won the bloody... They won't know if we won the Euros till 10 o'clock on Sunday. You can't just announce at 10:30 it's a bank holiday tomorrow. You've got to put some structure in place. People haven't thought it through. Let's get on with some Manchester United news anyway. So, Varane advanced talks. I know Levin and Beth were talking about this last night. I mean, look, what I would say is England Day today. So, Varane, Camavinga... I've been saying this for a while. We saw it with Sancho. Are we not wandering into regurgitation street now? What is different about Varane that we didn't know last week? That he still could stay at Madrid. He's had talks with Manchester United. He wants a new challenge. That's basically where we are with Varane. Advanced talks have already happened because personal terms are agreed. It's not signed, but they're agreed. We've spoken to Varane. We know what he wants. He's happy to take what we want. Madrid are going to talk to him next. That's the next stage with Varane. So that's what I think about that. Congratulations, Mark, says Daniel. Don't know what I've done, but And Max says, I work for a company who recently surveyed Old Trafford for repairs, paint and replacement of certain elements. So they're actually doing something. Good. I hope they are. I am still 75% club with Varane as well. Just very quickly on Erling Haaland before we move on to Bissouma. A lot of people are saying that Sancho... Well, look, because Erling Haaland's replied to Sancho's Instagram post with tears that he's left... people are starting to say Solskjaer plus Sancho means Haaland at United next summer. That's definitely United's plan, and that feeds into what I just said before. If we get Sancho, Camavinga and Varane this summer, and that's a big if, that's a very big if. How much of this is actually spin, we won't know until we find out whether we're getting these players. But if we did get those players and then you get Haaland next summer, well, that's when I'm starting to go, look, we're acting like a big club. Because that would be progress, that would be the right sort of build, that's what you would do. Now, do I think that Manchester United will get Haaland because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? No. I think anybody who thinks that, we're going to get Haaland because he likes Ole, well, that didn't work very well when he left Salzburg, did it? So that's not the reason. Would he come because of Sancho and Ole? Maybe, because if you see Sancho goes from Dortmund to United and United do really well, why would he not want to come here? I think the big thing about Erling Haaland next summer, because it won't be this summer unless someone else buys him, the big thing with Haaland to consider is Paul Pogba, because his client is his agent is Mino Raiola, and Haaland's agent is Mino Raiola. Now, if Paul Pogba stays at Manchester United and signs a long-term contract, I'd be more confident that we're going to get Haaland next summer with Sancho here, Pogba signing a new contract, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it all fits in. If Pogba leaves or runs his contract down, I don't see how we're going to do a deal with Mino Raiola for Erling Haaland. So I'd keep your eye on that as a longer term thing. Can you celebrate naked in the street anyway? Entertainment Bridge, says Daniel Kirk. Hi Mark, I worry talent like Kamavinga won't choose United. See how we treat Donny. Even Ahmed might go out on loan and still we can't keep our deadwood, says Claus. And this might not be our topic today, but considering your impact, I would like to share some love to Morata. Had a very bad campaign. His mental health would be just want him to know this will pass, says Sheikh. He's a professional sportsman, mate. People miss penalties. I think that, at the end of the day, I don't think we need to start a Just Giving page for Morata. I grew up in a world where no one focused on mental health or anything like that. What about Stuart Pearce in 90? What about Southgate in 96? What about Roberto Baggio in 94 in the World Cup final? They're professional athletes with lots and lots of people around them. There has to be a loser and there has to be a winner. And, Morata scored a very good goal for Spain and then typically he goes and misses a bad penalty. But Olmo's penalty was bad. I mean, look, it's professional sport. It's entertainment. It's not personal. If people make things personal, then that, to me, is unacceptable. If Ole and Sancho win the league, Haaland might come, says Tabo. Maybe. Just talking about that, though, a couple of things I wanted to bring in there. Ahmad, I think, has been called up to the Olympic squad with Eric Bailly. Now, this is really interesting because the Olympics... Let me just check. Olympics... Oh, can't even type this morning. Olympics... Oh, still can't type. Here we go. The Olympics start on Friday the 23rd of July. So 2 weeks... Nearly just 2 weeks away. And they finish on the 8th of August. Eric Bailly is apparently going to go to the Olympics with the Ivory Coast, and so is Amad Diallo. Very interesting for some of you, Pau Torres is going to the Olympics. Breaking news! Sky Sports, breaking news. Pau Torres is going to the Olympics with Spain. He's just finished the Euros. He's just knocked out. But he's going to the... Well done, man. You're going to Japan. Pau Torres, Spain. So apparently Pau Torres is now... going to go to the Olympics with Spain, which, I mean, I don't want Pau Torres at Manchester United anyway, but I know that Manchester United consider him as a backup. But this is why Varane, there's so many reasons Varane is the man for Manchester United. He slots in where Lindelof is, you keep Maguire next to Shaw, and that doesn't disrupt the back four. He's better than Torres, he's got better experience, If you buy Pau Torres... Also, Varane is ready to come for pre-season now. He'll be playing in pre-season, so that's great. You buy Pau Torres, left-sided centre-back, you've got to move Maguire, which means he's got to get used to Shaw, and Shaw's got to get used to him. Not as good, same price, but on top of that, he ain't even going to be playing for us until the end of August, because he's going straight off to the Olympics with Spain, then he's going to need a holiday. He won't even be back in pre-season. He won't even be, August the 8th. is the end of the Olympics, goes on holiday for 2 weeks, that's the end of August. Then he won't be playing for us until after the international break in September. So Pau Torres is a really bad buy if that's true. And United should avoid it at all costs. If we would have signed Sancho last year when we were supposed to, maybe this year would have been in for Grealish or Rice. Not impressed with the board, says AJ Flores. Hi Mark, hope you're well. I used to think Maguire was useless and never good enough, but his recent form towards the end of last season was decent. Varane would improve him even more. Would be exciting, says NMCC. Right, I'm going to hit this nail on the head. I'm bored of it. I'm absolutely bored of this. Ask me about a player and I'll give you an honest opinion. Now, opinions can change, and I've never been scared of saying what I think about players. I'm not bothered. It's an entertainment industry. Lindelof ain't good enough. Not good enough. We'll never win a league with Lindelof and Maguire as centre-backs. I've said that for a long, long time. Not convinced about McTominay. Not convinced about Fred. But I think there's something in Fred that maybe he can do it. Still not convinced about McTominay. Changed my mind. Matic. I think Matic is done. I like Matic, but he never gets picked. I think he's done. Mata, done. Used to like him, done. Maguire, I thought he started the season off terribly. I think against Everton he cost us 3 points holding that line. I think he's made mistakes. I think since Christmas, if anybody who's been watching the United stand, I've been saying since Christmas, he should be playing with Eric Bailly. That should be our centre-back pairing. Bailly and Maguire. Not Bailly and not Lindelof and Maguire. And also, pretty much since Christmas, gradually, I thought up until Christmas he was very poor. Since Christmas he's got better and better and better. And now I think he's getting close to being a top 10 in the centre-back in the world centre-back again. I think if you put Varane next to him, we will have a world-class centre-back pairing and he will become a top 10 centre-back with the top 5 centre-back, which is Varane. This is something we've discussed openly on this channel for the last 6 months. I find it weird that people are pulling a clip about Harry Maguire making a mistake in an individual game and trying to make out that I don't rate Harry Maguire. I know my brain. I know what my brain says. You ask me about a player, I'll tell you what it says. I do rate Harry Maguire. I think he's playing very, very well at the moment. And I think with a top-class centre-back, we're sorted. So I don't know where this whole Harry Maguire's disliked by Mark Goldbridge is coming from, because it's total shit. I have criticised him in the past. I'll put my hand up. I'll probably do it in the future. If you make a mistake in a game that costs us 3 points, I'm going to go mad, because that's the passion of a game. I'm going to go, fuck off Harry Maguire, you shit. Of course I'm going to do that, because that's what we do when we're watching a match. You get engrossed. Watch tonight. I tell you what, if Maguire makes a mistake in the last minute today, I'm not going to go, oh, it's fine, we've just messed up a semi-final for the fourth time in 55 years. Don't worry about it. I fancied watching an omnibus of EastEnders on Sunday night anyway. I'll be bloody furious, because that's entertainment. But where this, I think, Harry Maguire's crap thing's coming from is just it's nonsense. It's you're having a laugh. I don't know what you're on about. What do you think UK allowing full crowd from July the 19th? Though we are still, I'm not going to talk about that, Anna Rudd. I'm not talking about COVID and infection rates. This is the United stand. We're talking about Manchester United news. I think we need fans back in the ground, and hopefully it's the right decision. Mark, we saw Barcelona terminate contracts to reduce wage bills if players are not required. Can United do that with Phil Jones, Pereira and some others? Akshay, very interestingly, Manchester United's pre-season games kicks off in about 10 days, is it? Is our first game in 10 days or something like that? Our centre-backs could quite easily be Twan Sebi and Phil Jones. Mark, I wouldn't be surprised if we signed Sancho and nobody else. After all we've seen, we shouldn't put it past the Glazers. We will buy other players. I'm not going to say that that's not going to happen. Fisticuffs. We will buy other players. Hello, Mark. The petition Mark Lunn is talking about is for our son and many others. SPD is a sensory processing disorder, and we need it recognised as disability. We would love your help, says Ladybug Nail Technician. Fine. Thank you very much. Thanks for clarity on that. I thought it was about. I keep getting asked to do a petition about bank holiday. So thanks for the clarity on that. If you can get in contact with me in a way that I can see that link, I will share it out. No problem at all. People are crazy. Players will have great games and people will have bad games. It's part of the sport. People need to relax, says Vikram. Exactly. Ask me about any player. I'll tell you what I think about them now. Some of it will be good. Some of it will be bad. Ask me in 6 months. There might be evidence to change my mind. I think Lindelof should never really be starting games for Manchester United again. He's not good enough. In 6 months' time, Maguire might get a bad injury and he might be shit. Or he might be shit. And we might play Lindelof and Varane if we buy Varane. And I might go, you know what? I was totally wrong about that. Lindelof works really well with Varane. It was obviously Maguire and Lindelof that don't work. Maybe Lindelof leaves United, goes to Barcelona and wins La Liga and a Champions League with a different type of centre-back. But I tell you what, Lindelof and Maguire don't work together. They just don't work together. Doesn't make Lindelof a terrible centre-back. Doesn't. But they don't work together. Let me talk to you about Bissouma. A lot of people are asking about this. So, Brighton have bought a centre defensive midfielder from Salzburg. This, to me, suggests that Brighton will sell Bissouma this summer. Manchester United's interest in Bissouma is tentative at best. I and many others think he would be a really good signing for United at a very reasonable price. I think it'd be a real shame to see Bissouma go to Liverpool or Arsenal and tear it up when United could get him. Now, look, we're looking at Kamavinga. We are looking at Kamavinga, and I think that in fairness, look at Kamavinga, look at Bissouma. They're not terribly different. Is Bissouma a specialist centre defensive midfielder? He can play there, but he's probably more of an 8. But very tenacious, very good in the tackle and can pass well. Kamavinga, is he a specialist CDM? Probably more of an 8, but tackles really well, very tenacious and can pass the ball. So Bissouma and Kamavinga probably are more like each other in playing style than this bloody Pogba and Camavinga thing, which is just totally ridiculous. But of course, Camavinga's 18 and his ceiling is a lot higher. And he's probably easier to bring in and develop in that role. So, I'd take Camavinga over Bissouma. They're probably going to cost about the same fee as well. I mean, I think Brighton would want 35-40 million for Bissouma. Well, we're probably going to get Camavinga for cheaper than that if we can. But maybe Bissouma's option 3 or 4. Declan Rice, Camavinga, and then you go for Bissouma. So keep your eye on that. He's definitely available. Thanks for the super chat, Dion. Rival fans have a cheek. They have slated Maguire all season for being 80 million. Now he's best thing since sliced bread because playing for England, says Daz OW. I don't really give a shit what rival fans say, Dazu. It's our own fans. Some of our own fans wake up in the morning and decide to chat shit. Like they go, Galbridge he's got an agenda against Maguire. He's got to pay for his sins. And I'm like, I don't have an agenda against Maguire. If you actually watch my channel instead of just slagging it off, we don't have an agenda against Maguire. Most people have said Maguire's been a very good player since Christmas, like I said. Yeah, there's been a few individual mistakes which you're going to lose your shit about in a game. I get that. But no, there is. I don't think there's any player anyone's got an agenda with at United. Despite the fact we bottled yet another final, I don't think there's any player at United that any United fan actually is dead against and is like, get out of my pub. I think there's a few players that we're not sure about, and as I said, I think Fred and McTominay would be 2. I think Lindelof would be another one. But I don't think there's any. I don't really know any United fan that's adamantly a big. I mean, look, I know Ricky doesn't really rate Rashford and Greenwood that much, and he loves Dan James. But I don't think he thinks Rashford and Greenwood is shite or anything like that. So but on Harry Maguire, I will agree he's not an £80 million centre back, but that's not his fault. That's United's fault. Why did United spend £80 million on a centre back that wasn't a top 5 in the world centre back? I'll never know. But that's not Harry Maguire's fault. He wanted to come to United. The business was dealt with by the agent, Leicester and Manchester United. And God, we got ourselves bent over on that deal. We really, really did. Phil Jones stealing a living at United, says West. Well, apparently he's injured. He's fit now, is he? I didn't even know he was back fit, but apparently he's fit and he might be playing some games. Jesse Lingard from ESPN, let me talk to you about this. So this is the second time I've read this in the last few months now. The ESPN are saying that Lingard is not interested in being used as a make weight in a deal for Declan Rice. Effectively, Jesse Lingard doesn't want to be part of a swap deal for Declan Rice. So maybe Man United give West Ham 50 million plus Jesse Lingard. But Jesse Lingard doesn't want to be part of that. I don't understand. I don't really know how to read that. What does that mean then? Does that mean that Lingard doesn't want to leave to go to West Ham? He will go to West Ham, but he doesn't want to be part of a swap deal? I mean, I don't understand. What does it matter? If you want to leave Manchester United and go to West Ham and have the season you just had there, winning Player of the Month awards, what does it matter how you get there? The journey's the same. The outcome's the same. So is this that Lingard doesn't want to leave? Is this that Lingard doesn't want to go to West Ham? Or is it even more petty that he doesn't want to be involved in a swap deal for Declan Rice? I've read this twice now and I still can't get my head around it. Why does it matter? Did Mkhitaryan care about being part of the Sanchez deal? At the end of the day, he went to Arsenal. Your future is Arsenal. Sanchez comes to United. If Jesse Lingard is part of a deal to go to West Ham and Declan Rice comes to Manchester United, which I don't think can happen for many other reasons, what difference does it make? So surely we're not in a situation where Lingard's going, I do want to go to West Ham, I just want them to buy me, I'm not being part of a swap deal. Why? What does that matter? So to me, I would read that he doesn't want to go to West Ham. Maybe he wants to sign a new deal at United, which I'm sure Ollie will offer him, because I'm telling you now, maybe Ollie doesn't know this about United, but I'm telling you now, Jesse Lingard in pre-season training, when he plays for United in the games, you're all going to be going give him a new contract. What I would say is, I've watched Lingard in pre-season for years. He looks like Ronaldo. He looks like Neymar. His natural fitness is brilliant. I think he's one of those players who, when pre-season, like Rooney and other players and Hazard, they get the season stops and they lose their fitness and they've got to get back. They're better. They're brilliant players, but that's what pre-season's for. There are certain players like Jesse Lingard who can have a month off, come back, and they're as fit as they were when they went off. That's why Lingard always looks brilliant in pre-season. I've seen it in American tours. I've always seen it. He looks way better than everybody else because his fitness levels are better than everyone else. So there'll be a lot of people, and Ollie will probably do it as well. Karaki, look at Lingy. He's Messi Lingard again. Look at him. He's so quick. He's moving the ball about. And hopefully Michael Carrick will go, this is what happens because he's got natural fitness and no one else is at his level yet. Rubbish. Get the contract, we're signing him. So, I expect Lingard to sign a new contract. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake for Jesse's career. I think it's a mistake for Manchester United. But I think we will give him a new contract, which is a shame as well, because I think his career would be best served elsewhere if he wants to get in the England squad. And also, I think it would have been nice for United to get a bit of money to help us with this transfer market. Mark, just off, really looking forward to the game tonight. Come on, England, says Daniel Longbottom. Hey, Mark, we talk about selling Pogba, Van der Beek, but why aren't they talking about selling McFred? Says to me to you. Because you know what? A lot of people love Scott McTominay. A lot of fans love Scott McTominay. A lot of players love Scott McTominay. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves McTominay. So we're never going to... I don't think we'll sell McTominay. I mean, look, we're just talking about Lingard there. Should Lingard be sold, yes or no? Well, he'd probably get a new contract. For the same reason, we'll never sell McTominay. There's this, some would say obsession, but certainly affection for players that have been at the club. Mates rates. It happens in the playing squad as well. If you have got that United DNA, you are going to be a coach. You are going to be a fitness coach. You are going to stay as part of the playing team. This is not a criticism. Well, it is a criticism because I don't agree with it. But what does it matter what I think? It doesn't matter what you think. We know that United have a mates rate thing going on. It goes from top to bottom. Ed Woodward retires. Richard Arnold probably becomes CEO. We need a director of football. We don't recruit one. We recruit from within. We need a technical director. We bring Darren Fletcher back. Mates rate. Oh, you can be a coach as well. Carrick gets promoted as a coach from a player. McKenna comes up from the youth as a coach. It's all, we would never sell McTominay. Never in a million years. Fred... Obviously, he's not from the youth setup, so we might move Fred on, but I don't think he'll go next season. What happened to this Casido then? Imagine the uproar if we signed him and he was in the under-23s like Brighton, says SB. Yeah, but mate, he was so... Again, this is what I mean. Like, everyone's a genius in hindsight. I would love these people who are now up Harry Maguire's arse. I'd love to know where they were in September, because I guarantee you they weren't sitting there going, he's one of the world's best centre-backs. But it's always convenient to try and slag people off because they actually had the balls to have an opinion 8 months ago. I said we should have bought Casido because he was well scouted and he was £5 million. He's not worked out at Brighton. Shit, that's really, Manchester United have bought countless. Alua Traore that we brought in from France, young 16-year-old, no longer at the club. I thought it was a good deal. It didn't work out. It's very hard to predict with young players. Casido cost less than £5 million for Brighton. So, as I said before, any transfer isn't going to be a success. If 70% of your signings work, you're doing well. So, but we're all geniuses, aren't we? We're all geniuses. Oh, we did well to swerve Casido. Did we? Did we really? Did we do well to swerve Bellingham then? Did we do well to swerve Haaland? It swings and roundabouts. Mark, if we could get rid of the Didwood in United, we could fix all the problems with the facilities. I have a small business, and if I ran it like United, I would be bankrupt, says Stephen Atkinson. Yeah, but what you don't have for your business, Stephen, is you can't bring out a new T-shirt every month and get thousands and thousands and millions of people to buy it. So, United will never go bankrupt. They'll always make money off you. So that's on Lingard. We spoke about that. We spoke about Torres, Bissouma, Haaland, Pogba. Pogba's assessing all his options. That was the thing. So, I mean, look, again, this is regurgitation, but I think that people will want to lead us into a situation where we think Pogba's about to sign a new contract, or we think Pogba's just about to sign for PSG. I think Pogba's going to be a back end of July thing. He's going to be on holiday for another couple of weeks. He'll come back, and then I think there'll be a chat with Manchester United. And Pogba is a big thing this summer. I don't know why people think it isn't. Pogba's not a thing that, he might leave like a couple of years ago, or he might sign a new contract. September the 1st, something has to happen with Paul Pogba. And if nothing happens, something does happen. Because if Pogba's not signed a new contract and he's still at the club on September the 1st, we're in shit. Because nobody can buy him on September the 1st. And he's free to go next summer. So Pogba is a story. I just don't think it's a story for now. And I do agree with that. He's assessing all his options. And he will do. He'll see what United offer him. 100% he'll sit down with United. Because what if United offer him £500,000 a week? He might sign the contract then. I don't think Pogba's a mercenary, but he might do. What are PSG offering? A Madrid and Juventus saying, wait a year and we'll give you this in a year's time. Okay, I'll stay and run my contract down. So he will assess all his options. Of course he will. How can players just become coaches, like fitness coaches? Do they have any credentials within actual physical education? It's BOM? Well, sometimes they'll go off and do their badges whilst they're players. But ultimately, it's a learn on the job thing, isn't it? Oscar Svensson says, Fred will start for Brazil in a Copa America final. If Glazers are true bankers, they will sell assets when peaking, but they aren't. We won't sell Fred, Oscar. There's no way we'll sell Fred. Do you think there will be any dark horse teams next season, or will we end up with the usual top six, says Mahali? I mean, depends what you say. I mean, I suppose Arsenal are a dark horse. I quite enjoy saying that. Where's Zane? Take the L, Zane. Arsenal are a dark horse for the top six. Because they might be a traditional top six, but they haven't been near that for, this will be the third season. They haven't qualified for the Champions League in about 6 years now. They're not in the Europa League this year. I don't think they're in Europe at all. So Arsenal being able to focus exclusively on the league and the Carabao Cup, they might actually get into the top six. So I'd say Arsenal are a dark horse for top six. Arsenal fans will hate this. I think some real Arsenal fans will applaud it. You are a dark horse for top six. If you have a good summer, with no European football, you can focus on the league and maybe get enough points for top six. For me, the top six will be obviously Man City, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool. I suspect Leicester will be there again because they've already bought two really good players. And I mean, I don't know. Sixth place, could it be Everton? Could it be Spurs? Could it be Arsenal? So, I think the interesting race will be for fifth and sixth. I think the top four will be United, Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool. Yeah, I think the top four will definitely be them. Barca are in big trouble. Mismanagement is going to prove costly. There's a valuable lesson for us here somewhere, says JD. I can't believe the wages that they pay, mate. Mark, I reckon Maguire currently is arguably a top 5 centre-back in the world, and if we could rope in Varane, that might bring the best out of him, says Abhishek. It's interesting. I disagree with you. I do not think that Harry Maguire is a top 5 centre-back in the world. I'd like to think he could be, but I don't think he is. I think I don't think he's even in the top 10 at the moment. But I got in trouble. Because when we bought him, I thought we were getting a top 5 centre-back in the world because I thought that's what you got with 80 million quid. And I think that's the club's fault for how much they paid for him. But I do believe that Harry Maguire should be a top 10 centre-back in the world. And maybe he is at the moment. But top 5 in the centre-backs in the world is very difficult. Van Dijk's there. Ruben Diaz is there. That's 2 already. I think Varane is there. That's 3. And then you've got people like Sergio Ramos who's still going to be there. There's a couple from Italy still. I mean, he can force his way in there. But I think we need to see... Look. We're judging him on a couple of England games here. I don't think Harry Maguire for Manchester United, really, with Lindelof, you can call him a top 5 centre-back in the world. I agree. You've got to put him with Varane and then see how consistent he can be. I think the reason Lingard doesn't want to be involved in a swap is because he wants to play with Rice, and if he sees Rice go, it lacks ambition. Says Thomas T. Good point, maybe. Marquinhos is very good as well. Yeah, you're right. Van Dijk hasn't played for over a year, says Welsh Ewan. Yeah, but if the best porn star in the world hasn't done a porn film in a year, does it mean they're not one of the best porn stars in the world? And I'm not saying Van Dijk's a porn star, but what I'm saying is that Van Dijk being injured for a year doesn't mean he's not the best player in the world. If Messi got injured for 6 months, he's still the best player in the world. So, the injury doesn't make any sense. And I do rate David Alaba as well. I think he's a very good player. So what I'm trying to say is that it's silly. It's silly to say that Van Dijk's not played in a year, so he's not the best player in the world. What I would concede is that, is the injury going to impact on him? In which case, he might not be a top 5 centre-back in the world. But I think you've got to give him that benefit of the doubt, definitely. Yeah, massively excited about tonight. Lana Van Dijk Rhodes, says George Kyle. I wouldn't know that name. But I'm very excited about tonight. And I hope you're going to join me on That's Football for it, because it's going to be absolutely fantastic. One way or another, it's going to be emotional. I've never seen England. The thing for me is and my preview for the game is on That's Football, by the way, so you can watch that. But I've never seen England win a semi-final in my life. Never. So tonight is historic in that sense. And look, my brain is saying, really, you should prepare to bottle this on penalties, because that's what you do. Don't think about how big an opportunity this is for Maguire and Shaw and Sancho if he starts. Don't think about how big an opportunity it is. Think about the reality. England bottle semi-finals. But then I think at some point you've got to change. And I'm confident we're going to win tonight. I'm confident England are going to win tonight. I think Luke Shaw is one of the best left-backs in the world at the moment. I think Harry Maguire is playing like a top 5 centre-back in the world at the moment. I think we've got real attacking talent in that team. But Denmark cannot be underestimated. So I'm very excited about it. All army lads at the barracks are watching your videos religiously, says C's. Keep it going, Mark, and let's go England. We will be watching with you. Cheers, mate, and you're doing fantastic work as ever. As an Aussie, I hope the motherland bring it home, says BOM. Look, I don't, come one, come all. I'm not back on the porn. I'm talking about tonight. I embrace the fact that Scottish, Irish, Welsh, Australian, French, whoever want England to lose. I love that. Because I've been in that situation. I desperately wanted Liverpool not to win titles and Champions Leagues, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And there will be a lot of Scottish and whoever I just mentioned there, people panicking, because they'll be thinking, you know what? You can't honestly sit there and say that England aren't going to win this. You can look at the past and say they're not going to win it. And then you've got the English people, or the fans who want England to win, and they're like, "Oh my god!" So I love this. This is why I love football. You've got a set of people who desperately don't want England to win. You've got a set of people who desperately do want England to win, and that creates this cauldron of excitement and anticipation and butterflies and everything, and it's fantastic. So I've got no problem with people not wanting England to win, because that's the brilliance of this game. And look, Denmark are a very likeable team. If England were out and Denmark were playing any other team, I'd want Denmark to win. So I get that. I really do. But looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. As for Manchester United, I think we'll have. I mean, look, you never know. But I don't expect there to be major breakthroughs in the next couple of days, to be honest with you. Having said that, we worked on a Jadon Sancho deal through the Euros, and I think we've got to. As we started off with the show, Kamavinga is a deal we've got to push fast. There is a race for Kamavinga. There is a transfer race. And if we are preparing this bid, we need to get that bid in. Romano said to me on Monday on this show, Camavinga would love to come to Manchester United. He'd probably love to go to Madrid, and he probably would love to go to Paris. But he would love to come to Manchester United. There is a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. There is a chance. So get the bid in. Go and get the bid in. What is there to delay about? What is there to delay about? Morning, Mark, says Amit, you are the only one that can relate players' injuries to a porn star. Love your show, hilarious. Have a nice day ahead, bro. Well, you've got to have a laugh. Any news on Varane, says Sharwin, who's one of our members. You can tell by the badge. If you want to join and support the channel, you can click the join button. Any news on Varane? No, I actually think we are living in a world of Varane could take quite a while. I saw somebody last night saying this can't be allowed to drag on until August, and that worries me about Varane, because I think with Varane, and look, this is not breaking news, this is just my opinion on this, and I know, having spoken to people, and some of those people have been on this show. So with Varane, He wants a new challenge. Manchester United have made a better offer to him, personal terms, and Madrid's offer is not good enough for Varane. So he wants to leave. But Madrid want to talk to him again. That's where we're at. So at the moment, you'd say good chance he's going to come to United. He's not back in pre-season training with Real Madrid yet. The delay is probably going to have a chat face-to-face with Ancelotti. That worries me. Because if he's going to have a face-to-face chat with Ancelotti, Ancelotti is one of the best coaches in the world. He could convince him to stay. That is a worry. But having said that, if he wants to leave, you don't really want to be going back training with Real Madrid. Because, do you want to go back and train for 2 weeks, 3 weeks with Real Madrid when you're going to leave? So I don't see this is going to drag out with Varane. I think we're going to get an answer very soon. And again, with Kamavinga, I think we're going to get an answer very soon. I don't think it's going to be in the next day, but I certainly think in the next week or two, we will get firm clarity on Varane and Camavinga. The scary thing is, if Varane stays at Real Madrid and we go for Torres, remember what I just said. Torres is out of the Euros, off to the Olympics till August the 8th. Then he'll have 2 or 3 weeks off holiday. Then he'll come to United and he won't play for us until mid-September, which means we'll start the season with Lindelof and Maguire. If you start the season with Lindelof and Maguire and they do well, and then Torres comes in, Ollie will go, well, Lindelof and Maguire are doing quite well. You'll have to wait for your chance. And then we'll have another Van der Beek situation. I want Varane in because he's better than what we've got. He'll come straight into the team from day one. So that is a big I want Varane over Torres anyway, but I don't want Torres. Koundé would be different, yeah. But and I don't think Torres had a very good Euros. But look, whether that should be a reason or not, I don't know. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. You can check out my England versus Denmark preview. It's on That's Football. I put it up about an hour ago. We're going to be live on there, of course, from around 7:30 tonight on That's Football. So make sure you tune in for that. Pro England or against England, it's going to be a really interesting watch along. And probably one of the biggest ones I've done, actually. Apart from a few of the United ones, it's going to be massive, that. Obviously, we'll go live if there's anything to go live about this afternoon, but I'm not anticipating a very busy day, but you just don't know. You just don't know. We'll see what happens. Please subscribe, smash a like on the video. I'll speak to you all later. Absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed the show. You're all legends, the TUS Army, and hope you have a good day and take care. Speak to you all in a bit.